about some specifics around, and I didn't know Mimi was your first hire, some specifics around how division of labor, you know, what you put on your admin, what you focused on. How'd you divide the world? I remember when it was T&I, it was anything that generated marketing or sales, and everything else I didn't care what happened to it, but how'd you treat it?
Mimi, was it 20 hours a week or 30 hours a week? Yeah, I hired her part-time, which, shame on me. I said, Mimi, I'm going to hire you 20 hours a week. Well, that literally made it, what, a week, 2 weeks? And then you came on full-time? And basically, I took everything off my plate. When I say everything, she didn't cut my grass, but, I mean, it was literally like bills, dry cleaning, you name it. Everything that I could possibly take off except getting on the phones, shaking babies, and kissing hands, and being out there. And that's what we did. And she took everything off the plate. I started reading more and getting more into the real estate business and realizing that this was a contact sport. That, you know, I'm not supposed to be James Bond 007. That you know, I ought to be James Bond 0014, twice as good as 007, and be out there, you know, letting people know, hey, I'm in real estate. One of my biggest challenges was everyone knew me for the car business. Everyone knew, go to talk to Thomas about buying a car. I mean, 13 until 32 years of age, and that's what they know you for. And you're on TV commercials, and you know, you're in the newspaper and on the radio. They heard all that, and so for me to disassociate myself was extremely difficult. Also, to have the pride and get rid of the ego that I just lost everything and had to start all over again. That was very tough. But it's such an awesome feeling now. So, you know, I took everything off that I possibly could. Anything, I wrote down my whole day and what it looked like and took everything off except just really doing the 3 C's, creating, converting, and closing. Prospecting, presentations, and price reductions, the 3 P's. That's all that I did. And realized that my dollar producing activity that's where I needed to be. And we've just continued to do that at a higher level. In fact, I was sharing with Lars last night, we hired a field coordinator for our team, and all she does now is literally she services and takes care of all of our team members, as well as she delivers all of our listing packets to the door before we go on the appointment. But she takes Brian's dogs, she takes them and walks them, she picks up dry cleaning, she goes to the grocery store, you name it, if somebody needs a check deposited, instead of that agent leaving the office, they can make a few extra phone calls and make a few extra $1,000 while we send our field coordinator to go deposit that check. And so we've really started dialing in on what our time is worth and where we need to best use that time.
Yeah, that's a takeaway for me. I mean, it's funny, you know, someone can disappear for the day, you know, for a couple hours, and they're just not committed to the.
And they're not, and now they don't have an excuse. I was sharing with Lars last night. They can't come to me and say, well, you know, I've got to run to Jiffy Lube and get my oil changed. No, you don't. Give your car to Emily. She'll drive it over there. I have her insured to the nth degree. I mean, she is very insured. She's very trustworthy. Everybody loves her. I mean, she's sharp. She's good as gold. So, you know, there's no excuses on why you can't be doing the 3 C's and the 3 P's of real estate. Yeah. And they're doing a disservice to their families, their teammates, their friends, everybody, their clients, by not being there focusing on business. I mean, you can get lost out there picking up your dry cleaning and going to the grocery store.
And I think a big takeaway there is that you need to have those conversations with your people about their time and really unpack. I think that's where, as team leaders, we feel like there's, you know, well, I can't really get into it with them, like but you've got to be able to dissect their day and see what they're doing with their day. And it's funny that I hired Tia, and within 2 weeks, I hired her part-time. Within 2 weeks, she told me that she had to come on full-time. And as entrepreneurs, we're just like, nah, you can definitely do it in 20 hours a week. You know? And it's like a 60-hour-a-week job.
Same thing.
It's so good. Yeah. What were you going to say, John?
Prospecting is first. Presentations, obviously, are second. And then price reductions. Creating, converting, and closing are the 3 C's. And if you just focus on those 6 things and leverage everything else out, anything you can think of. And I told Lars when it happened for me last year, I don't know, everybody have DirecTV across the country? I'm sure y'all do. Y'all know what it is, or Time Warner. You know how they'll call, like you'll call and your TV goes out and they'll say, we'll be there between 8 and 12 and 12 and 4. Well, that happened to me. And they showed up, it was 8 and 12. They show up at 11:58 a.m. and they were there for like 2 or 3 hours. And so I told the team, I'm like, I need to be there just in case they show up, you know. And next thing you know, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., 3 o'clock, I'm sitting there, and I sat there and said to myself, I'm sitting here all day. I just did a disservice to them. I just did a disservice to the clients. I'm sitting here at the house. Why am I doing this? So then I went to Mimi, and I said, Mimi, what if we could hire somebody that could sit there and wait for DirecTV and let me be in the office or let me be doing higher dollar producing activities? And same thing with the other team members. So we just said, let's just hire this one person that can take all that off of us so that we can do the higher DPAs.